got to feel big. This is the point where the judges in America will love you. If you're too perfect, then people can't relate to you. Ho ho!
Hi!
We've got Megan Gordon in the house.
Yes. What is up, Evan?
Good. How are you? Now, are you from South Carolina?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Southern girl all the way. Super hot summers, so I'm trying to stay cool down here. But yes, I am. I actually was born in Georgia, raised in South Carolina. So I represent both. Yeah.
I love it. So
yeah.
Megan is from Miss World America. She's competing for the Miss World America pageant. I was trained.
Wait, I have to show you something.
Okay.
So as soon as you said that, they just sent us our crowns. So
Look
I have
at that.
to show you. It's so pretty.
So part of how they're being judged is called Beauty with a Purpose, which is not just about looking good, but also doing good in the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm here to help train. So
yes.
What do you got? How can I help?
Okay, so I'm going to first off by saying just thank you so much to you and your family, your beautiful wife, Nina, and the Believe team. I want to join the team one day, but just thank you so much for your time. But I'll take this time to share my Beauty with a Purpose project, which is actually named Living for One. It's totally based on building up people's confidence, identity, and character, and their faith too. And the practical way that I've been able to build in these areas is through journaling. And I know it seems like such a minute activity or such a small thing, but when I tell you the transformation and just the emotional, elevation that I felt through journaling and looking back on old journals and seeing some of the things come to fruition and seeing those things manifest have been truly life-changing. And so I want to share that gift with the entire world. I actually just wrapped up a virtual journal challenge where lots of people joined, which I was so excited about. People from all over the world. It really took me by surprise how many people were interested and wanted to know this secret of journaling. And the truth is, it's really not a secret. It's just getting your thoughts and your dreams and your emotions on paper and getting it out there. And I think sometimes being able to see it helps us to work through actually accomplishing it. So I want to share it. And I love writing, and I'm so passionate about words so much that I self-published a book.
There it is.
It's called The Ultimate Crown, Living for the Audience of One. Basically, not focusing so much on the earthly titles or the earthly audience approval, but really focusing on yourself and your creator and realizing why were you created and getting to the core of that. So I really do love words. This isn't just, I really do. So yes.
You dove right into the solution, which is journaling, without really explaining the problem. So what's the problem you're solving?
Okay, so I have noticed, even amongst myself, like my peer group, where girls are so obsessed with comparing themselves, even, I would say, not clinical depression, but maybe seasonal depression of just like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't even know what my vision for my life is. I've seen so much of that, Evan, and I've had so many conversations one-on-one with women in particular about these things. And I'm like, girl, what are you thinking in your brain? How can we get that out on paper? And sometimes them just seeing it on a vision board or an affirmation board has changed their mood and improved their overall productivity in life. And so the statistics are, I can tell you,
okay,
is that 74%, I think that's a large number. 74% of women suffer from seasonal depression, low self-esteem, and have at some point in their lives had fear of using their voice or actually believing that they could achieve their goals. And this is from psychology experts that have studied, teenage women kind of, advancing into womanhood. And so I think that's a large percent. I've seen it in my own friend group where I'll go to dinner with some girlfriends and, we've all had it in life, men and women, but you just get in a rut. And sometimes I found helping get out of that rut is like writing things down, like sorting through my emotions and figuring out what's next.
Great. So that needs to be your lead.
Okay.
So I love the personal.
I'm going to write this down.
Yeah, you can write it down. I love the personal storytelling. You're so emotive and friendly and kind
Oh,
and
thanks.
warm-hearted, and like it comes out, and I think the judges will love that.
Thank you.
If they're going to make you, it's great. You can use their name, but they want to see that you're going to elevate their message and be proud of your mission. And so it's got to feel big.
Gotcha.
Right? It's got to feel like this is a big problem that she's solving, not just, yeah, I journaled and it helped me, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So you lead with 74% of, what is it, 70%? 74% of women experience seasonal depression?
Yes. And low self-esteem, and have had fear of like truly believing that they could achieve their goals.
Okay.
In whatever career field they wanted.
Okay. You need to get like 3 to 5 stats down.
Okay.
And memorized so that you don't have to read it. And it's fine. Like this is good. This is a test run, right? This is fine. No problem.
Okay.
But you have to be able to get those down, and then know them so well that you can deliver it without trying to remember what the stats are. That you actually connect with, like 74%. And don't hedge. Just like, I think that's a big number. No, that's a big number.
Okay.
America, you have to pay attention, right?
Gotcha.
This is what they're looking for. They want the leader to step up. Megan is going to be our champion to go promote this, right? So so there's definitely the time for humility, but there's also the time for boldness, and this is the boldness. This is a big deal. 74% of women suffer from this.
Yes.
Okay, and then what does that lead to? That leads to X. This is where a couple more data points. That leads to suicide. That leads to women not progressing in their fields as much. Like so what? I mean, it's something that people can connect to, but take me deeper into what are the repercussions, so that if we solve this thing, it's going to have a big impact on America and maybe the world, right?
Okay. That makes sense. I didn't even think about it from that aspect of like these teenage girls who are going through that, what would happen when they're my age or when they want to go after a pageant or a career or whatever. I didn't even think about that being a potential, outcome of them not.
and get some data to support from various, news articles and outlets and whatever. So just like you got to 74% from the American Psychology, whatever, right? What is the impact?
Okay.
And then you can go to a singular story, either somebody you know or somebody you've helped, or like the politicians do this so well. If you ever watch a political debate,
they're geniuses. I'm like, who's writing these scripts? Is it them? I don't know.
They have it ready to go. They don't have teleprompters there when they're doing the debates, but they always lead with, if you're going to talk about the economy, they always lead with 2 to 3 stats about the economy, about how we need to lower taxes and the impact that it's having across America. And they lead with like the big picture. Yes. And then they bring it right down to the micro. They say, well, let me tell you about Sally from Arkansas, who I met last week. And Sally's a struggling business owner who's trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And she needs these tax cuts to whatever, right? So it's like big picture. That helps me see that this matters. Like this cause is something big. And Miss World America wants to put their name behind.
That's true, yeah.
But then now you got to pull on heartstrings and take it right down, because those numbers don't pull on heartstrings. It's getting it down to something, a specific story, right? Okay. Not your story yet, but tell the story of somebody who's gone through this, or somebody in the news cycle, or something that I can see. Holy cow, this is a big problem. This is a real thing. Because everybody's got a great cause. Like, why should I care about this instead of the rainforest, or instead of puppies who are being abandoned on the street or whatever, right?
No. I know, and that's what I was thinking. Like, it's so important to me. But can I say this? I was thinking about it, and I think my project is almost like the foundation for all other projects. Because think about it. Okay, just hear me out. If someone's really promoting, let's say, breast cancer awareness or something else, think about the person who started that organization. She had to write it down, or she had to like think of.
But don't get to the 2 things in there. One,
right?
You don't think, I think this is, no, it is. This is where we need the
okay.
The bravado coming out.
Okay.
What did Beyonce? What's her inner queen?
Ooh.
What's the stage name?
Oh, is it Sasha Fierce?
Yeah. such a fear. Like this is the time to summon this. It's not trying to put other people down, but it's not. I think that this is this is a big deal. This is the thing, right?
Yes.
And then don't go to the solution yet. Journaling. Like journaling is the answer. Okay, great. But I'm still like, what's the problem? Why is it such a big deal? Why is it so important? So tugging at heartstrings. So like big picture, 74%, a couple more stats underneath of why that means so much to America. Like if we solve this problem with Megan at the helm, America is a whole new country. Like this is the vision that we need, right? Then down to a specific story of somebody that you read. When you're on the live training, you were on the live training that I did, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when I told the story about Mary Kay Ash, about how she was passed over, her the person that she was training became her boss. Oh, Mary Kay, you're just thinking like a woman, all of these things. But a more contemporary example, that people can then relate to. And
even
then
the example you gave about MLK inspiring the lieutenant woman, like just to say like what you're saying is important in your realm of, your sphere of influence. So like keep doing that, like that example brought me to tears, but I do see your point. So,
and I'm sure you've got a whole bunch that you've helped people through, or you've seen something in the news cycle, or just a personal story that you can connect to the big thing of this woman who almost gave up, or who was getting passed over, or just somebody that you've seen go through it that you really feel for, that you can tell an emotional story about.
Yes. And I will say, through the virtual challenge that we held, there was this young lady from the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. Like, they love pageants, and they're just here for supporting so many different people. So I love that support. But this young woman joined. Her name was Rosa, and she was like, it was only a 7-day challenge, but hey, like, just that's a start, right? And she was saying just through the 7 days, I was able to like sort through my emotions more and realize, like, even though I'm here, my life circumstances does not have to be how my life story ends, in a way. And I'm like, yes, I'm trying to figure out the way to specifically articulate that, but that's what I want. Like, I don't want people to feel like I'm born into this situation. This is just life. This is just how it's always going to be. I'm like literally the walking testimony of how your story starts is not how it has to end.
So you have
and
to
journaling has helped me get through that. But
you have to take me deeper into her story of what were the circumstances.
Okay.
She grew up without a mom, or her dad told her that she would never be anything because she's a woman, or like whatever. Like, what were the limiting circumstances that were going through her head, but she knows she's capable of more. So she signs up to go to your event. Okay. And then poof, like the world opens up to her because she realizes that she can actually go do this because Megan opened the doors for her. Right.
Okay.
But the specifics matter now. Like the statistics at the top, but then the specifics of this person's story. Because in her, even though it might be her father saying that she can't do anything, people can connect to that to say, yeah, I've had somebody in my life that told me that I can't do anything as well. Yeah. So I need to know more about her pain specifically. And if you don't know, great, then find somebody else where you can specifically know their pain.
And talk about,
I think there would be a bias towards American examples instead of Filipina examples, just because it's Miss World America. No, it's not sorry. Like, if that's the best example, go for it. Just if I'm thinking judges, yes, it's a global impact, but specifically, like, what are you doing in America? If you're Miss World America. Okay. But take me into what were the problems that person was facing? Where did they have the self-doubt? Why are they so depressed? Is it neglect? Is it abuse? Is it like, what are the specific circumstances besides just saying, well, because circumstances? Okay, but what specifically? And then how did you help them through your training, through your courses, through a one-on-one, through whatever
that may have been? Okay. Well, can I ask you, has journaling helped you? Because you shared on your story that you were this 19-year-old entrepreneur trying to figure it out. Did you ever have a moment where you were like, yo, I just need to write this stuff down and just do it? Or like, was there something specifically in that process that like changed it for you?
I've experimented on and off with journaling a whole bunch. I feel like I self-journal in my head all the time. So I'm talking to myself all the time. Like I'm constantly talking to myself. Like as I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself.
You're thinking to yourself.
Evan, you got to push Megan because she's amazing and she has a real shot at this. So don't let her off the hook, right? Like it's a constant self-talk. So I find when I'm
mental journaling is a thing.
Yeah, but the don't get so caught up on the how.
Okay.
Which is journaling. It's the why that's gonna suck them in.
Okay.
74% of women suffer from seasonal depression, and that leads to all of these issues. Mm-hmm. Like these are our future mothers. What are they going to be teaching their kids? And just, when we need to stop this cycle because that's been repeating for the past century, right?
Yes.
Like making it big, and then what are you doing to help solve it? Well, journaling might be only one of the things that you end up doing to help someone. Maybe just giving a girl a hug and saying, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. The judges don't care about all the specifics of the how. If you get too caught up in just the journaling, it's like they want to be like the journaling pageant, right?
Okay.
It's not like it's helped you. It's great. It's part of your story. You should definitely share that. But it's not the whole thing. It's like it's Megan Gordon is the answer with Miss World America, and journaling is a part of what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So stats, story from somebody that pulls on the heartstrings, and then your story. Like so you suffered from it. What were the specific symptoms or causes that led you to have seasonal depression?
Well, I am a product of a divorced family. So that alone, like coming into the world and experiencing that type of, I guess you can say, rejection in some ways from my biological father, and just having to sort through those abandonment issues and realizing, okay, just because it starts this way doesn't mean everyone's going to reject you or everyone's going to abandon you. That's where he was in life. So you have to forgive that, heal from that, and move on. And so, yeah, there was a lot of sorting through emotions in that alone. So just right off the bat, born into that type of situation. And then,
what was the biggest emotion you had to deal with?
From the divorce?
Sure.
I'd say the rejection probably.
So what was the most painful moment where it's like, were you looking in the mirror and telling yourself, Megan, you suck? Like what?
Evan!
What comes back?
Okay, that's real. That's real. I would say there were times where it was like, if your own parent is saying, like, I don't know if I can do this with you, I can't make that commitment with you, there's no way anyone else in your life would do that, or there's no way you could do that, for yourself, commit to something yourself. So that was probably like the lowest points of life, to answer your question, and then having to like rise above and say, how can I overcome?
Okay, but what specifically was the moment that was the lowest?
I mean, just realizing it wasn't going to be the family that I always envisioned in my head of what I thought, a healthy family was.
Yeah. And did you blame yourself for it?
Some days.
This is the point where the judges in America will love you, is now not being perfect, because you come off as very polished, warm-hearted,
thank you,
beautiful, all the things that they've been looking for. But if you're too perfect, it's a knock against, because then people can't relate to you. So everything that, whatever you told yourself when you were younger, when this was happening, everybody's gone through some version of that. Mm-hmm. And 74% of American women. So this is where it's not that you're now crying on stage and like bawling your eyes out. I guess it's a virtual event this year, but that is actually, you give yourself permission to take off the armor and the polishedness, and now actually talk to them, because you want them to be moved. If you just said, yeah, I went through a whole bunch of rough stuff and I got through it and I rose above,
yeah,
doesn't connect.
Yeah.
So you have to take me into a moment.
Yeah.
Whether it's, a conversation you had with your biological father or your mom, or you talking to yourself in the mirror, like you take me into a deep,
but
dark
what if
moment.
you're afraid to go to those places, Evan? What if you're
okay, but what's your message? Be afraid?
I know. That's true. That's so true. Okay.
You got to be the person, right? You're going to be the leader, the role model. That's what people are looking up to you for. By you having the courage to go to that dark place and share and be vulnerable, that's going to inspire other people to do the same thing, because they feel like they're alone. You're the only ones who's going through this.
Yes.
And that perpetuates the depression.
Exactly. Wow. Yes. Okay. Right.
You don't have to have an answer right now, but okay. I need you to get emotional. Not crawling, again, crying your eyes out and bawling everywhere, but I need you to lose the polishedness on this part. Okay. And then we come back up. Then we say, how do we rise?
Right.
And here's why it's so important to me, and here's what I want to change for America. Right now we're back to polished again.
Yes.
Right. So she's human, but she's amazing. Right. Get kind of summary. So at the top, it's big picture.
Yes.
This is a big deal. You have to feel like this is more important than every other cause that's out there, because you have to put it on my radar. Like the judges, they might already have other causes that they care about, but now your job is to put this into their top 3. Like, I didn't realize this was such a big deal.
Yes.
You live this, you've been through this, you've done the research, you know how big a deal it is, you've experienced it, but other people don't realize how big a deal this is. So that's your job, to make them realize, wow, this is a huge deal.
Okay.
Then emotional heartstrings of a story, not yours yet, but somebody you've helped, been a part of, and then your story of what you've gone through. You can summarize, but then you got to take me into a moment.
Okay.
A moment with yourself, a moment with your mom, a moment with your dad, a moment with your dogs. Like, I don't know, something that was like whatever the worst moment was, or one of them.
Yeah.
And even leading with, this is really difficult for me to share.
Yeah.
But I don't want to perpetuate the silence. I want other women to also feel like they're not alone.
Yes.
And if I stay quiet, then they're going to stay quiet too, because they don't have the courage and confidence to step up, right? And then you share whatever the thing is that without throwing somebody under the bus, right? Without saying like, this person, Jack from high school, is right?
Yes.
And then you can get to the how. Then you can get to the journaling and what you've done.
Right.
But now you've hooked me. When you start with journaling, it's like, what are we talking about? It doesn't make any sense yet.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that may be a part of the mask of just like, let's just go for what I know, what I'm confident in speaking in, what's not vulnerable. And that's writing or journaling. But instead of, I'll try and peel the layers back a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know that I would see it necessarily as a mask, because it's still you. Like you are polished, and you are beautiful, and you do have a big heart, and you are charming, right? It's just you can't play there all the time. You need to bring it down and connect to the emotions that you're feeling, and at the same time, you don't want to be only an emotional person on stage, just like telling your life story, and it's like, where is this woman going? Right? So I don't know that I would see it as a mask, maybe just a different outfit.
Okay. Okay.
So like you don't wear a winter coat to a beach.
Yes. Facts. This is true.
And you don't wear a bikini out in a snowstorm. So you're just changing your outfit and being able to show the judges the range that you can play in.
Okay.
Because when you win, they're going to put you up and you're going to be doing interviews and podcasts and TV shows and radio shows. And they need to know, hey, Megan's the person who's going to represent the brand well and also go on a huge mission to change America.
Absolutely. Wow.
Cool. All right.
Thank you so much.
You got some homework?
I do. I'll get to it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Megan.
If you want to see another awesome one-on-one I did with an entrepreneur just like you, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.